Howdy, everybody. This is Billy Martell with Vlogmas, coming back to talk about something. I'd already recorded this video, and I decided to nix it and re-record it because I realized I was coming off as very entitled and very whiny. What I was talking about something that had uh, crawled into my brain. Is something that I've complained about to people around me in the past. Uh, I'm a married man now. I was married a couple years ago in 2018, and my wife Kaylee is at work at the moment. She's a fantastic person. I'm so happy to be with her. But I noticed that in the media, so much over the course of my life, I've been a huge fan of comic books and superheroes and all that stuff. And there has been uh, there's always been a superhero for me at whatever point in my life I've been going through. When I was an angry teenager, there was Terry McGinnis. When I was an insecure teenager, there was Peter Parker. When I was an insecure 20-something trying to make it in the world, there was Clark Kent, you know? There's always been somebody for me, and now that I am married and approaching my 30s, there's not so many people for me. There are not a lot of married couples in comics, and this has to do with a lot of things, but generally tend to chalk it up with our culture's oh, with too much focus in our culture, let's put it that way, being put on youth and this weird idea that pervades our pop culture that marriage is an end. It is not an ending. It's the ending of your single life searching for love. Yes. But it's not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter with you and another person combined into one unit. Now, Kaylee is not just some sort of like sexy prop that lives in my house, and I'm not some sort of sexy prop that lives in her house. If I was, she would need to get a refund. But she is a dynamic, fascinating, awesome person, and I am also here. And I'm joking, of course, but like the point is, we are both unique people that are making a partnership work. And I'm of course, part of this is because I am in religious. I'm a Christian, and I believe that marriage is one of the sacraments that's very important to your life as a Christian and as a human being. And so that does feed into it. And obviously, our not everyone in our culture is going to believe the same things, but there's still, despite all of that stuff I just said, there's still a big push in our culture for people to get married. People, especially women, are often shamed if they're not married by a certain age. So it's this weird sort of uh, thing where our culture is constantly pushing you into marriage, and at the same time, once you're married, they're like, "Well, you're dead," you know. Like even down to stand-up comedians um, who are like talking about who always make the jokes, especially male ones, where like marriage is like a death and stuff like that. And where I think I took it a step too far is at the end of my argument, I said it sucks to have had something in superheroes, some person in superheroes that I could identify with and I could go forward. And now that I'm married and I'm approaching my 30s, there's no one for me. I think I just said that a minute ago. I can't see myself in it anymore. And I still enjoy superhero stuff and everything. And then I was about to upload it and I was like, wait a second. I'm still white. I'm still straight. I'm still Christian. I am married, and there aren't a lot of married people in comics, but uh, it would be it would be wrong for me to make essentially an argument about more married representation in comics and then not reference the fact that representation has been a much bigger issue for people who don't look like me over the years. And that would be the height of hubris and privilege for me to go off on this rant and then not acknowledge that people of a different sexual orientation than me, of a different color and creed than I am, have been underrepresented in comics as well, and way worse than me. At least if I don't care about uh, if I wanted to, I could go back to the 1950s and I could read old Barry Allen comics from when he was married to Iris. There are plenty of Superman comics where he's married. There's still not enough, in my opinion. I would love for there to be more stories about marriage. I would love it if more of the stories where Peter Parker and Mary Jane were married weren't crap, as many of them are. Many of them are not, but many of them are. Uh, However, it would be silly of me to go off and complain about that without acknowledging how bad people who don't look like me have had it for so long. So I want to make it very clear that when I complain about this, this is a small issue for me. This is a very small issue in the grand scheme of things. It is annoying, but it is in no way a world-shattering, uh, like brain-busting issue. Uh, it is definitely a much bigger issue that we have so little black representation in comics, so little gay representation, so little Asian representation, so little anything other than people who look like me, essentially. And I'm so happy to have seen so much more in recent days. Still needs to be more, in my opinion, but I am very happy to have seen what there has been. Uh, and I think we are headed in a good direction when it comes to that. Uh, it's Chadwick Boseman's death is a huge loss, but the Black Panther franchise is continuing. I don't. I haven't heard anything about Black Lightning recently, but of course, a lot more serious issues have been going on in the world, other than which CW show gets to stay and which CW show has to go. But yeah, so I wanted to re-record this message with that disclaimer that this is not important. I mean, it is important to me on some level, but it is not like uh, if if Batman and Catwoman got married tomorrow, I wouldn't like jump up and down and run and call my mom and be like, finally we're free or whatever. Like this is not a Whoopi Goldberg seeing Uhura on the bridge of the Starship Enterprise moment. But I'm just saying this is a small thing that annoys me, and I wanted to add that little caveat that if you think that I'm annoyed about this, uh, then if you agree with me that this is annoying, but you have never seen why there needs to be more black people in superhero comics, maybe check yourself and go and listen to some black people actually complain about this stuff, and maybe you'll understand it a little bit better. Because yeah, it's a serious issue. It's a serious issue. Um, but yeah, so I don't know how to end this now. I guess marriage should not be a scary thing. We should treat it as a normal thing in our culture, especially if we're going to put so much emphasis on it. And two, I am very privileged and am not trying to put myself on the same level as black people or trans people or gay people or anybody who's not me. And Black Lives Matter, abolish the police. Yeah, that's about it. All right. Merry Vlogmas. Hope you're having a great day. Bye-bye.